What's up, everyone? It's Q from Retro Q Gaming with some potentially good news for those of you out there who want Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered, but as like most people are kind of disheartened the fact that they have to pay extra on top of a game that they don't want, I should say, just to get this game. So we all know the Legacy Edition and the Legacy Pro Edition of Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, when they released this year on Xbox One, PS4 and PC, are going to have Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare Remastered. Now, the big issue with this is that a significant amount of people have expressed outrage at the fact that you have to buy one of those two editions to get the game that they actually want. A lot of people don't want Infinite Warfare, but they do want Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered. For a simple reason is it's arguably the best modern, no, sorry, not the best Modern Warfare. It's arguably the best Call of Duty game there is. So to have that remastered on current gen hardware as well as PC, that's a good thing. And a lot of people were pissed off that they'd have to pay €100 or so just to get that. Now, where this article comes in and what I want to talk about is it's an interesting comment made over the weekend by the director of Raven Software, David Pellis. Now, if you're not familiar with who Raven Software actually are, Raven Software are a development studio. They've made a bunch of games in the past, but the main relevance to this article is that ever since Call of Duty Black Ops, the first Black Ops game, they've actually had input on Call of Duty games. So Black Ops 1, they did a bunch of the DLC as well as the UI. Modern Warfare 3, they did the multiplayer aspect. They did single player elements. They did some of the DLC and again the UI. Same deal with Black Ops 2, additional development tasks. You've got, say, Call of Duty Ghost, they did the multiplayer and certain parts of single player as well as DLC, etc, etc, etc. So you get the idea, the fact that they actually have involvement with Call of Duty. So the director of the studio had this to say over the weekend when it came to what was going to be Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare Remastered and the support from it. So here's what he had to say anyway. What we announced before today was that we were going to offer 10 maps on launch, and that's still true. The announcement today is that the 6 remaining maps we are actually going to be delivered to anyone who purchases Modern Warfare Remastered, anyone who owns it or a version of Infinite Warfare that comes with it. They're all going to get all 16 of the maps for no additional cost. So the main thing to note of the specifics of what he said, I'll go back and I'll read the specific part. And this is where it comes in. It's like, we're going to be delivering it to anyone who purchases Modern Warfare Remastered, or, well, there's a comma, anyone who owns it, or a version of Infinite Warfare that comes with it. So, it implies that you are going to be able to purchase Modern Warfare Remastered on its own at some point, despite not having either the base version of the game, the Legacy Edition, or the Legacy Pro Edition. So it implies that you can get all of that separately at some point in the future. Now, there's no exact date or no exact... This isn't even a proper announcement about it. It's more of a slip-up in an interview or a comment he put out there. But I think it was better to say that, no, it was better... He had to word it in a way that would avoid him saying, no, we're never going to be selling it separately ever, because, you know, that can get them in a lot of trouble if they do turn around and start selling it a little while later. Now, having said all that, is usually we know on certain platforms or certain DLCs or whatever, certain pre-order bonuses, some of them become available at a much later point. Some of them are only timed exclusive. For example, we all know that Call of Duty DLC packs on the PlayStation 4 this generation, or so far at least anyway, are 30 days exclusive, so you get them on PlayStation a month before anything else. So this is probably another situation of this. If you do shell out and invest a little bit more money in, say, the Infinite Warfare or Infinite Warfare, Infinite Warfare Legacy or Legacy Pro editions, I should say, you can actually, I don't know what they call it. It's like a loyalty bonus that you get it early kind of thing. That's just the one potential way of seeing it. But the fact that it could be available separately much later. Now I say much later, but when I say much later, it possibly 30 days after release. Maybe it going to be available with when some of the DLC starts coming out. Maybe it'll be available 3 or 4 months after, maybe 1 or 2 months after. Who knows? We'll see how it goes anyway. We'll see how Activision do, or if they even do, kind of comment on this and keep it PR. They love their PR department and bullshit and spin and all this. So we'll see how it goes. I know personally, I have no interest in buying Infinite Warfare in any way, shape, or form. I'm not going to buy base Infinite Warfare. I'm not going to buy Legacy or Legacy Pro editions. However, if they do release Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare Remastered on PC, I will buy that separately. Definitely. As long as it's not overpriced. Because it wouldn't surprise me if they tried to charge something like €50 for it or something like that. Maybe even more. But because essentially it is a full game. So it wouldn't surprise me if they tried to charge the price of a full game for it. But depending on price, I would most likely buy that. Because I loved Modern Warfare 1. It was fantastic. And I was amazing at it online. Don't know if I still would be these days. My reflexes have dulled a bit in the last 10 years or so. But you get the idea. Now, we'll see how it goes anyway. So let me know in the comment section below if this has possibly affected you. Are you buying Infinite Warfare or Legacy Pro or Legacy editions, I should say, just to get Modern Warfare Remastered? Do you give a shit about Infinite Warfare? Or like I said, are you only buying it just so you can get the remaster? I know tons of people. When I was working in GameStop, ridiculous amount of people pre-ordered it with the 2 versions because they didn't give a shit about the game. They only gave a shit about the remaster. So let me know all that in the comment section below. Anyway, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. You can follow me on Twitter. Details in the description below. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the rest of the videos in my channel.